Good evening. This is Carolina, and I'm hopping on here to tell you a little bit more details about the trip to Peru that we've been planning for you. So, just in a few minutes, let me share my screen, and you will be able to see the PDF that I'm sharing with you as well. Feel free to jot down any notes, any questions, and know that this itinerary is your trip. It's a private trip, so we can tweak it in any way you'd like. So, this is kind of just version one, and we can, of course, customize it further. So this trip is a private tour to Peru, and it will start in Lima. You mentioned a desire to travel perhaps in May, which is a fabulous time. It is beginning of the dry season. You know, the rains of February and March has now brought all these plants to be blooming, flowers blooming, the air is crisp. It is actually one of my favorite times to travel to Peru. I have been traveling to Peru for the last 18 years on a regular basis. I have traveled with groups, with my family, with children, with my parents, and there's something for everyone in this magical place. So I hope that the itinerary that we put together here with Jamie works for you, and I look forward to your feedback. May 19th, I chose this day simply because it falls on the right dates for the trains. But if you have a different date in mind, just let me know and I will tweak the trip to make it work. When you arrive, there'll be a sign with your name on it at the airport once you leave that secured area, and my team will, in a private car, will take you to the hotel in Lima proper. So Lima is a beautiful city right on the ocean, great views. It's a cosmopolitan city, fantastic food, fantastic shopping. So we will spend 2 nights here just to kind of give you a little taste of Lima. And of course, we're staying at the Miraflores Park Plaza. This is a Belmont property, the best hotel in Lima. Ocean view, junior suite room is waiting for you to have a great rooftop bar and pool in a great area to kind of relax and take in sunsets here. So the next day after breakfast at the hotel, and those are the little letters underneath each day, that stands for which meals are included that day, to give you an idea and kind of prepare what is included, what you're going to plan on your own. And I always will touch base on why it's included or what you can do if it's not, because some places you're in the middle of nowhere and it's kind of you will eat there no matter what, and other places have a lot of options. So I want to give you some flexibility because this is your trip and not just a bus that you're going from place to place looking out a window. So on May 20th after breakfast, my private guides will come and take you on a tour of Lima. And we do it a little bit different here because besides just seeing the highlights of Lima, the main square, the cathedral, you know, all the places that are on your bucket list, we will also taste our way through Lima. So we will have snacks at the ruins that were discovered, 15 years ago. We will go and have a pisco sour kind of lesson, how to make it, how to, what's included inside this beautiful drink, have it maybe overlooking the ocean. We'll have a typical, coffee in Lima. So there's so many different things that Lima is known for. We'll go into markets, we'll taste some fun things along the way, but also see museums and beautiful properties. And, of course, all the sites. And then Larco Museum will also be visited here. And that is the most famous museum in Lima. It's quite small, so it's manageable within an hour, but such a great little stop. And we will actually have lunch there for you. So that is Lima. And if that night you're still hungry, we can make a reservation at one of the best restaurants in Peru. So El Central won #1 award for being the best in Lima. And Maita is another one close behind. So we can do that for you as well. And then day 3, we are leaving Lima. We're going to take you to the airport, take a 1-hour flight, and arrive in Cusco. Cusco is going to be your first point of entry where there's high altitude. So we don't keep you in Cusco. We whisk you right into Sacred Valley where it's 2,000 feet lower. It really makes a difference. You acclimate much better. And of course, Sacred Valley is kind of a hub for Inca activity, ruins, markets, indigenous communities, and some really fantastic sites. So on this first day, I really want to take it easy easy, where you're kind of going to beautiful sites, but not really doing a lot of strenuous walking, because I want you to acclimate. So we're going to visit Maras Marai, which are Inca laboratories like this one. This is Salineras, where local ladies still work the salt mines. And then we'll go to Chinchero, which is a fantastic little village up in the mountains, and it will really give you a sense of different communities that live here in the valley. And then we will check into Rio Sagrado. It's another Belmont property, the best in Sacred Valley. And there's a lot of really beautiful properties in the Sacred Valley. We like this one because it's very small, very intimate, a great place to acclimate and relax. And of course, they have a gourmet chef in there, so it's wonderful. Before we arrive to the hotel, we'll have lunch at Iskay, at the Iskay home. This is a restaurant that's only open for us by reservation only. It's a farm to table, very traditional Sacred Valley food, and a perfect introduction and a perfect way to acclimate, because they make food that really keep you energetic and healthy and light, because you want to stay away from heavy meats and alcohol on these few first days, so your body can adjust to that altitude. Day 4, we're going to continue in Sacred Valley. We'll visit some other sites. Ollantaytambo is the largest complex of ruins in Sacred Valley. Fantastic to explore, fantastic to start climbing around, to being active, to really getting a sense of it. And I love Ollantaytambo because it is a combination of, Inca ruins, but a thriving community lives all around it. So they will go about their day while tourists are exploring the complex. Fantastic. And then, of course, Miss Minay. Miss Minay is a community that we here sponsor. They are very deep in the Andes. And so you will go there to kind of get a sense of life in the Andes, like authentic life. There are no busloads of people visiting here. It's usually one set of tour visitors per day, and a local family will kind of like adopt you for the day, show you in their house. You can, meet the shaman, get a blessing, and the ladies will cook a pachamanca, which is a very traditional ceremonial dish that's cooked underground. Super interesting to be a part of it, and of course delicious as well. And then we'll go back to your hotel for the night. And now by day 5, May 23rd, I think you're fully acclimated at this point. You're going to feel good. You're going to want to get out there and be active. So I know you love horseback riding. There are so many fantastic ranches in Peru. They are famous for their horse, El Paso horse. So we will have horses here for the day, and we will go riding. We will visit different Inca sites by horse with our professional local guide, and of course have a beautiful lunch en route. So I think this day will be a highlight for you. And now on day 6, we're ready to go to Machu Picchu. So the way we will do that is, I know you have your mind set on the Inca Trail, and this is a really gorgeous way to visit Machu Picchu. Let me kind of give you an idea of how to reach Machu Picchu. The only way to reach Machu Picchu is either by train or walk on the Inca Trail. There are no other trails that walk into the ruins except the Inca Trail. So if you are not up to hiking for 3 days, 3 nights, what we do is we do our private, short, superior Inca Trail, which is basically the last day, the last 6 hours. So we'll get on a train with your guide. Don't worry about the luggage. We take care of all the luggage for you. We have our cars and our guides to make sure all those logistics are handled. You with your guide will get on the train with all the tourists that are going to Machu Picchu, but instead of riding all the way to the village, we will hop out at kilometer 104 and start hiking. So for about 6 or 7 hours, we will make it to the ruins like the Inca Trail, like the Incas did, through the Sun Gate. Very exciting way to do it. The only way to do it, really memorable. We'll have lunch along the way. It's a private service, so it's you, your guide, and a porter. Everything is included, so you don't have to worry about it. You may be carrying a backpack with some snacks or some waters or, your camera, things like that. Everything else will go with our guides to the train and to your hotel. Once you arrive to Machu Picchu, you'll have a short tour of it, and then we'll continue on a little, and then we'll go right to your hotel. So your hotel is the Sanctuary Lodge. Explaining to you a little bit about Machu Picchu. So Machu Picchu is at the top of a mountain, so you can kind of see it from the hotel here. This is the Huayna Picchu Peak. And maybe this is a better picture. So this is the ruin. These are the ruins of Machu Picchu. This is Huayna Picchu. It's a famous peak here, and I'll touch on that in a second. And then right here behind the llama is a gate. And at the other side of the gate is your hotel, the Sanctuary Lodge. It is the only hotel up there on the mountain. All the other hotels are in the village at the bottom of the mountain, requiring a shuttle, down the mountain to get to the village. So you are literally steps away from the ruins. So you're going to walk in on through the sun gate, see the ruins, walk to your hotel, relax, have these amazing sunset and sunrise views. And in the morning, my guide will come back and enter the ruins with you one more time. And this is for an active kind of day. You can choose to hike Huayna Picchu, which you can go right to the peak of this, or right behind this little ruin site is Uchuy Picchu. It's another peak, very easy, much shorter, but still stunning views. So you can decide if you want to hike the big guy that morning, or if you want to do something more less strenuous, but still beautiful. And we will have you relax in the village or, in the Sanctuary Lodge for another day. Lunch and dinner is included. They have the best restaurants, obviously, but in the village, there are also some wonderful restaurants. So we can always talk about that if you want to go into town for dinner for one night. Most people stay in Machu Picchu for one night, but because you're doing hiking, you're going to be climbing up mountains the following morning, I thought it would be really wonderful to stay at the Sanctuary Lodge for that afternoon. If you want to go to the spa, if you want to maybe go to the hot springs, which are right near town, you can do that without stressing that there's a train to catch in the afternoon. And then May 26th, you're going to check out of your hotel, perhaps have lunch either in the village or at the hotel. And then around 3 or 4 o'clock, we're going to go to the train so that we can board the Iram Bingham train. So that is a famous train, Orient Express service, beautiful dinner on board. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours long. And then we'll pick you up from the train station. And now you are in Cusco. Finally, we flew in here days ago, but now we're fully acclimated. So it's time to explore Cusco. So in Cusco, there is a Belmont property, which is called the Monasterio, which I love, but it's been around for a long time. And I feel like there are some better properties now that Cusco has been exploding in popularity. And about maybe 5 years ago, opened Palacio Nazarenas. This is also a Belmont property, but this one, wow, blows it out of the water. It's a really great combination of that old with the new, and a perfect place to stay in Cusco. So that is where I included for you for 3 nights. So the first night is your arrival. You're going to get there quite late. The following day, we're going to tour the highlights of Cusco, which is, of course, the cathedral, the main square, Coricancha Temple. But then we will take you outside of the city, and outside of the city, which you can kind of see in these hills here, there are other ruins, especially Sacsayhuaman Fortress with those massive boulders, very popular site. Here we have horses. So if you want to ride horses one more time on the trip, this would be the place to do it. And that's a really great scenic place to do it. So that is your Cusco day. That afternoon, we come back to the city and we'll do some cocktail visiting. So we're visiting 3 different restaurants to kind of get a different pisco sour or mocktails. Or if you are less into drinking alcohol or tasting alcohol, we can also do local snacks tasting. We can tweak this. This is your trip. It's private. It's with a local guide. So really the pace and the style is up to you. And then tonight we made reservations at Chicha Restaurant. It's a fantastic place. I just ate there recently. It has the first open kitchen concept. It's a lot of fun to eat there. And then on your last day in Cusco, I know that you have an interest in art and culture and museums. So we will kind of pair you up with our local guides, but also with local artists. And you will kind of get a sense of how much art is being produced in Peru and Sacred Valley. You will even have an opportunity to take a part and get your hands involved in some of the local art. But the beauty of this day is going into the workshops, talking to the people, learning about the beautiful art. And we will wrap it up with having dinner inside the museum in Cusco after it closes down. It is a spectacular experience. And then we move on from Cusco for the last 2 nights of the journey. We will take the Andean Explorer train. This is a beautiful train that travels from Cusco to Lake Titicaca. It's about a 9-hour train ride, and sometimes people are taken aback by how long it is. But let me tell you, after 10 days of moving around, hiking, getting up early, it is such a beautiful place. to kind of reflect on everything you've done and enjoy the ride. It's beautiful sights. You stop one time, you can get off the train at a local market. There's a gorgeous lunch served on board, and then you arrive in Lake Titicaca. You're rising up in altitude, but your body is easily acclimating because you're not flying. So it really makes a difference to take the train. And once you arrive in Lake Titicaca, we have obviously kept the best for last, and that is Titilaca Hotel. It is the best property in this region. It's like a jewel. It's on its own little peninsula on the lake, completely private services, gorgeous rooms, sunrise and sunset, or they call it dawn and dusk. So I have you in a dawn room. They do all their meals. They have all their tours arranged with their own guides. And the whole property is operated with the indigenous people of the communities around the lake. So there's a lot of flavor here. There's a lot of culture. So what we will do is that first day you're going to arrive. Sometimes they do a bonfire, they do a lot of fun things on the property itself. And then the next day on a private boat from Lake Titicaca, from the Titilaca Hotel, you will visit Uros Islands and Tequila Island. And this is the reason why we come to Lake Titicaca. Uros are floating islands made of reed. And, after going to the Inca country, of Cusco and Sacred Valley, where everything is how it was and where the Inca was, and it's all history, here it's like a living museum. They are still doing the same thing they were doing 50 years, 100 years ago, 500 years ago. So it's really fascinating to meet this community. And then Tequila Island is another fun community because the roles are swapped. The men are indoor weaving, the women are outside doing work in the fields. So it's really interesting as well. So you will do all that. Go back to Titilaca Hotel. They have all kinds of different activities. They have kayaks if you want to be more active and get out on the lake, but truly the property itself is somewhere to just relax. And then day 13 or May 31st, we're going to slowly take you from Titilaca Hotel to the Juliaca airport so you can fly to Lima. It's about an hour and 40-minute flight. And then from here, you'll connect to your flight home. So that is your 13-day itinerary, 2 weeks in Peru. There's so many different things that I can still tell you about. As you could see, I'm quite passionate about Peru, but I look forward to hearing your thoughts. And if you have any questions, if you have any tweaks, for sure, send them my way and we will figure it out. Happy travels.